From Colbo appearing for the first time in years to an exclusive skin that was never supposed to come back, these are 18 things that returned in Fortnite. When Epic dropped a once-in-a-lifetime collab in 2020, it broke the internet. For a whole season, instead of having a few characters, they turned the Battle Pass into Marvel. From POIs, weapons, even a huge live event, you couldn't escape the MCU for months. Most of us assumed this was just a special opportunity and we would never see anything like this again, especially with the Marvel fatigue that has ruined the hype recently. Until 4 years later, thanks to an insane leak roadmap, we are now weeks away from it happening all over again. Marvel Part 2 is about to take over, with Doctor Doom as the face of everything. At first, this confused people, until Robert Downey Jr. walked on stage and revealed himself as the MCU's new villain. With the hype train being full steam ahead, and now fans cannot wait for next season. And not to mention, we just got one of the biggest Marvel film in years with Deadpool and Wolverine. Ever since he was locked behind a battle pass in 2020, players have been desperate to get their hands on Wade Wilson again, and luckily, he secretly returned in the funniest way. We opened the shop to find Deadpool's new cel-shaded version, and the best part, he points out he's already in this game. But Colbo is now days away from returning after constant teasers, from unused mounds, leaked dance animations, and Buttercake being mentioned in Chapter 5's files. It's basically confirmed. It's not even touching on the roadmap, which shows Colbo taking up an entire season of LEGO, as he's scheduled to return pretty much any day now. Fans are hoping this isn't just for LEGO though, who knows, maybe Colbo is being held on the island somewhere by Megalodon. But one item hasn't been seen in over a year. During the Oathbound season, fans were introduced to a special weapon known as the Thunder Shotgun. For the first time in forever, players liked the new shotty, and sadly it wasn't meant to be, as it would be vaulted just in time for Mega. We never saw this in Battle Royale again, until Fortnite announced their brand new mode, Reload. It's only for us to drop into a seemingly OG map and be able to use the Thunder Shotgun. And while we're on that topic, after Fortnite OG drop, we knew it was going to be a limited time thing. Maybe it would come back every year or so, but there's no way they give us a permanent version, right? Well, with Reload, we got classic POIs like Tilted, Loot Lake, and the best part, it's here to stay. In the early days of Fortnite, the biggest mysteries involved the suspicious hatch on the island. Everyone was intrigued with this, coming up with the most insane theories as to what laid inside. Epic loved how the community ran with it, so they kept throwing strange bunkers onto new maps, like the redacted POI in Chapter 2 or the Foundation statue in 3. But after that, things started to slow down. Fortnite just never showed us the contents of the statue and stopped dropping bunkers entirely. Fans are pretty bummed out as the years went by, only for this season to give us 2 of them. The first appeared in the snowy mountains as players got close and heard banging sounds on the door. There were tons of theories about what this could mean, and some of them turned out to be right, as Magneto broke through the hatch and exposed the inside, leading us to Weapon X. Then, once Reload dropped, Epic was happy to keep the mystery going. Most of our favorite POIs returned exactly the way we left them, except for Tilted. In the early days, it had a cave which was totally empty, only for us to return in 2024 and see a new bunker there. It's not the only feature people weren't expecting to see again. During the Bounty Hunter season, players were obsessed with zero dashing. In the desert, there were purple 0-point crystals, and breaking them would drop a shard. With this, you could blink around the map and take enemies by surprise. Now sadly, this feature wouldn't last long, as Epic got rid of it within a couple months, banishing it to the vault. Little did we know they would secretly bring this back with the Underworld in Chapter 5. Throughout the POI, we could pick up souls and turn them into skull dashes. Another broken feature was giving Battle Royale and Ranked the same loot pool. A couple years ago, this wasn't the case. Arena players would have separate items from casual, and anytime something crazy was added, collab mythics, it wouldn't show up for tournaments. It was smart, but ever since Fortnite reworked Arena into Ranked mode, both sides have had to share a loot pool again. It has caused so much anger from people that recently Epic changed their mind, running a test where Nitro Fists, all vehicles, and NPCs were removed from Ranked. Now we also love the secret return of a fan favorite character. In Chapter 2, Fortnite introduced an iconic villain known as Midas. He was full of mystery and even had his own live event, with players having to figure out whether he was trying to help us or take power. Sadly, he was a Battle Pass skin, forcing him to never return, but that didn't stop Epic from capitalizing on his popularity. They went on to release a half dozen variants, and fans were hoping for something more though. They wanted the OG back. Well, after numerous teases, we started to realize something was happening. At times we lost hope as Fortnite would drop a hint at Midas' return, only for nothing to come of it. That's until Chapter 5 when it was revealed that he was locked away in the underworld. After breaking free, we could finally visit Midas on the island, the first time in 4 years, and he even brought his iconic drum gun back with him. Along with this cameo, they decided to make this return into a big event, bringing an entire LTM with it. If you remember, in Chapter 2 we were getting LTMs all the time, especially ones that shook up the gameplay, so Epic experimented with a mode called The Floor is Lava. The name was pretty self-explanatory, and by the end of the match, the entire map would be covered head to toe in molten lava. It was super fun, and fans were expecting it to leave because, you know, it's an LTM. But Fortnite decided to reward us for our patience with the Rise of Midas mode, letting us play all over again on the Chapter 5 island. Something we really thought was never coming back is a collab from Chapter 1. At the time, no one expected to see Scoops Ahoy on the map, teasing the release of a massive crossover Stranger Things. Hopper and the Demogorgon were introduced as skins, along with the Upside Down and Mega Mall. Sadly, once they left the shop, they just never came back, and that's when rumors started to circulate. Netflix were pulling out of collabs with other games like Dead by Daylight and considered Fortnite their biggest competitor. Especially when we saw the canceled Extraction crossover, it felt like we would never see a team up with Netflix again. Then, out of nowhere, 4 years later, the item shop was updated with Hopper and the Demogorgon back on sale, and right next to him, a new character 11, which fans have been asking for since 2019. But it's possible you don't even know about the exclusive pickaxe that millions of players never unlocked. In 2020, Fortnite celebrated Valentine's Day with the Love and War event, giving us rewards like the Twilight Strikers. You had to complete a ton of quests to earn this, although it was completely free. Usually though, when it comes to events like this, the rewards are exclusive. Or so we thought. That's when a few days ago the item shop updated to reveal the Twilight Strikers, which have been unavailable for 4 years. Now pretty much anyone can buy them for 500 V-Bucks, and thousands of fans were annoyed about this. But I was happy to spot the return of an item from the spy season. Obviously, when you think of secret agents, you don't expect them to be sneaking around in a cardboard box, and yet that's exactly what we were doing in Chapter 2. The item was a total hit or miss, and that's probably why it was removed never to return. Except there is one stealth agent I can think of that does use these, and he served as the inspiration for the original item. I'm talking about Solid Snake. When he finally got a crossover this year, they just had to bring this item back, giving it the official orange box design. And while we're talking about crossovers, nothing compares to one of the first Marvel outfits we ever got in Fortnite, Black Widow. Back then, collabs were mostly just costumes, so they slapped a Black Widow outfit on Headhunter and called it a day. It sold pretty well, but then Epic changed their whole strategy and began to give us true characters instead. The only problem was they decided to stop releasing Black Widow. Even earlier skins like Star-Lord came back, while Natasha was replaced by a snow version, which fans hated. She quickly became one of the rarest Marvel skins in the game for no reason, with everyone demanding an explanation. And well, after a half a decade, instead of an answer, we opened the store and got the outfit. Players were overjoyed, but something was missing, her pickaxe, which was just as rare. I guess after pointing this out, Epic realized their mistake, and a month later dropped it into the store too. Something that was meant to stay vaulted was a vehicle from 2018. During Season 7, we had a fancy new way to get around, drift boards. Players loved them, and yet we checked the patch notes to realize this was a limited time item. It turned out to be true when Season X banished them to the vault, and as the years went on, they were never seen again. No one expected the streak to end, yet we also never expected OG Fortnite to come back. So when they revealed it, Fortnite decided to include the classic vehicles too, letting us try them out for just 1 month before they were vaulted again. That season also gave us a feature we desperately needed. For the longest time, fans had to put up with the most annoying update, moving llamas. It used to be so easy to open these guys until they came to life, making it super hard to catch them. This lasted way too long, despite players constantly complaining about it. It wasn't until Epic was forced to bring this back with Fortnite OG that they realized how much better it was. So transitioning into Chapter 5, they kept static llamas. During the first months of Chapter 2, fans were intrigued by a mysterious villain known as Chaos Agent. It was our introduction to the revamped storyline and seemed important to the tale of Midas, except behind the scenes, Epic was secretly canceling this whole plotline, deleting trailers from the first Shadows, including Chaos Origins. Since then, he hasn't been important, and most of us just moved on from this plot hole until the trailer for Wreck dropped, giving him a new story. Out of nowhere, he had been downgraded from a powerful mad scientist to Megalodon's henchman. Talk about a demotion. He still didn't fail as much as hurdling. This is one of the most broken features we've ever had in Fortnite, with Epic constantly having to delete it from the game. It was so buggy. Every time it returned, there would be an issue, with the devs taking an entire year to get it fixed. When it finally came back for Chapter 5, fans were skeptical. Sure, it's managed to survive for a few seasons now, but it still occasionally glitches out. Those were all the things that returned to Fortnite. Let me know if I missed any. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.